Hi, my name is Jordan Pleasant, and I am in my senior year here at U of H. I am a secondary education major, and I'm going to be doing ELA grades 4 through 8. I have always spoken English my whole life. I do wish from a young age that I was taught to be bilingual. I think that is extremely useful, especially in the workplace when you do get older. Being able to communicate with others is very, very important, especially your students if you are going to be a teacher. As far as the first one, my experiences with language learning. So I never remember anything specifically that might have went on here at home and or in the classroom that might have helped me, other than every night before bed, my mom would always have me pick out a book to read to her. And I do think that reading consistently every night was best for me to do, just because I think now, looking back on it, I think that was really, really smart, because whether I realized it or not, that probably helped my language skills more than I know. But we would always do that every night. I would read in class. Other than that, I don't remember any instances or specific lessons relating to language that went on in my past classrooms. But I do know thankfully, it wasn't much of a struggle for me. Like I said earlier, I do wish I was taught from a young age to be bilingual. I know it is very common for parents nowadays to teach their kid, no matter their background, to teach their kid when they're growing up a different language, whether it be Spanish, French, anything like that, because they probably know that it will help immensely in their futures. I personally was in Spanish my 7th grade year, 8th grade year, and I went up to Spanish 3 in high school. I think that the use of those classes, I think I'm able to pick out words for the Spanish language. But other than that, I think that you truly have to go to a place for a while that commonly speaks that language, because you're only in a classroom for so long. There's only so much that you can be taught in a Spanish classroom. But I do wish that I do wish I grew up bilingual. I think it is extremely, extremely important. As I've gotten older, like I said, I do realize how useful and important it is, whether it be speaking to my future coworkers, students, most importantly, and even their parents. Communication is huge, especially in the profession that I've chosen to go to, which is teaching, obviously. Being able to communicate with the people around you, your students, it is very, very important. And being able to learn another language all the while to be able to communicate with them is really, really important. But as far as the reasons that I chose a teaching career, is simply because of the teachers and teacher coaches that I had in middle and high school. I don't know how they did it, but they were able to make learning fun, and they truly, truly cared about developing lasting relationships with their students. And that's something that I'm really, really big on. That's the biggest thing for me, is that I definitely, right off the bat, I want to develop those relationships with the kids, because we only have them for so long. So that's super, super important. And then due to the relationships that were made in middle school and high school with my teachers, my coaches, I love that I am able to go back and visit them, and it's like no time has passed at all. I truly want my future students to have the same experiences I had, and for them to truly be impacted, just like my coaches and teachers were able to do for me. But being able to go back and visit them, that just shows how good the relationship was while I was in school. They were always willing to stay after, especially being an athlete. They were even more considerate of that fact because you obviously have to be passing to play. But they were always super understanding. They truly, truly cared for every single one of their students. And they just made the learning environment friendly, welcoming, all the above. And that's definitely the teacher I want to be in the classroom for sure. And the last one, how is your reading of Rights Chapter 1 about ELLs and EBs influencing you as a future teacher? After reading that chapter, I do fully have a better understanding of each of these, and specifically have been influenced going into my future classroom. I believe this is why differentiating for students in the classroom is so important because every student is in need of something. I want students to feel comfortable in the classroom and get the best education possible.